What if everything you thought you knew about training your abs was actually slowing down your results? Most people spend years doing the same old floor crunches, sit-ups, and leg raises, and wonder why their midsection never really changes. But here is something that might surprise you. Your core is not just a set of muscles you isolate on a mat. It is a dynamic system that works best when your whole body is moving, when gravity is involved, and when your balance is being challenged. And the most overlooked way to train it is standing up. Today, you are going to experience a full 30-minute standing abs workout that is going to challenge your core in a completely different way than anything you have tried on the floor. No mat required, no lying down, no neck strain, no lower back pressure from repeated crunching. Just you, your body weight, and 30 minutes of focused, effective, functional core training. And I will tell you right now, there is one exercise coming up toward the end of this workout that consistently surprises people with how intensely they feel their entire core working. So, stay with me until the end, because you do not want to miss that. But before we get into the first movement, let me take just 2 minutes to explain why standing ab exercises are so effective, because once you understand what is happening in your body during these movements, you will train with much more intention, and that intention is what separates people who see results from people who just go through the motions. Your core is not just your six-pack muscles, the rectus abdominis. It is a full cylinder of muscles surrounding your spine and torso. It includes the obliques on both sides, the transverse abdominis deep inside, the erector spinae in your back, the muscles of your hips, and even the muscles that connect your rib cage to your pelvis. When you lie on a mat and crunch, you primarily target a small portion of that system. But when you stand up and move, when you drive your knee across your body, when you reach and rotate and bend and stabilize, your entire core has to work together to keep you upright, balanced, and controlled. That is functional core strength, and it transfers directly into real life. Here is what most people do not realize about standing ab workouts. Because they involve more total body movement, they also burn significantly more calories than floor-based core work. When large muscle groups are moving your legs, your hips, your arms, your heart rate elevates, your metabolism increases, and your body burns more energy during and after the session. That means this workout is not just building a stronger core. It is also helping your body become a more efficient fat-burning machine. And when you reduce overall body fat through consistent training and smart nutrition, that strong core you are building underneath will start to become visible. That is the real formula for abs. Build the muscle, reduce the fat, stay consistent. The key word there is consistency. Doing this workout once will make you feel it. Doing it 2 or 3 times per week for 8 to 12 weeks will change your body. Not overnight, not in a week, but progressively, reliably, and sustainably. That is what we are going for. Now let us move. We are going to start with the first exercise, and I want you to pay close attention to your form right from the beginning. The way you set up your posture in the first movement will carry through the entire workout, and getting it right from the start will make every single exercise more effective. The first movement is the standing knee raise. This is your foundation exercise, the one that teaches your core how to fire properly and sets the tone for everything that follows. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Your spine is tall, shoulders pulled back and down away from your ears. Soft bend in both knees. Now, draw your belly button gently toward your spine. This is your core activation cue, and it is something you should maintain throughout every movement in this workout. It is not a full vacuum or a hard squeeze. It is a gentle engagement that keeps your deep core muscles switched on. From this position, shift your weight onto your right foot and drive your left knee up toward your chest, not your waist, your chest. As the knee comes up, think about your lower abs doing the work, not just your hip flexor. Lower it back down with control. Do not let your foot crash back to the floor. Place it down gently, with intention. That moment of control on the way down is actually where a lot of the core work happens, and most people rush through it and miss the real benefit. Alternate knees at a steady, controlled pace. Your standing leg should stay slightly bent, never locked out. Keep your spine neutral, not leaning back to compensate for the lift. If you notice yourself leaning backward every time you raise the knee, that is a sign your core is not fully engaged. Correct it by thinking about pulling the rib cage down toward the hips as the knee comes up. Exhale as the knee rises, inhale as it lowers. That breathing pattern will help your core activate more deeply with every rep. The muscles targeted here are your lower abdominals, your hip flexors, and your transverse abdominis, that deep corset muscle that wraps around your entire midsection. It also challenges your balance in a subtle but powerful way, which means your stabilizer muscles in the standing leg, ankle, and hip are working the entire time. We are going to do this for 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, and then move immediately into the next exercise. Keep that heart rate up. Keep that core switched on. The next movement builds directly on what we just did, but here is where things start to get a little more interesting. The second exercise is the standing oblique crunch. The obliques are the muscles running diagonally along the sides of your midsection, and they are absolutely critical for a defined, athletic-looking core. Most people neglect them in favor of front-focused ab exercises, and that is why so many people develop front strength but never get that carved, tapered look through the sides. We are fixing that starting right now. Stand in the same hip-width stance, core engaged, shoulders back. Place your hands lightly behind your head, not pulling on your neck, just resting there for support. Now, lift your right knee out to the side while simultaneously crunching your right elbow down toward that knee. You are not twisting your spine here. You are doing a lateral crunch, a side bend combined with a knee lift. Think about your right rib cage and your right hip moving toward each other. That is your right oblique doing the work. Lower back down with control, and repeat on the same side for 20 to 22 seconds. Then switch to the left side for the remainder of the 4-5 second interval. The common mistake with this exercise is turning it into a twist instead of a lateral crunch. Keep your hips square to the front. The movement is sideways, not rotational. If you feel a strong burning sensation along the side of your waist, you are doing it correctly. That is your oblique lighting up, and it means the muscle is being challenged in exactly the right way. Stay with me because we are just getting warmed up, and the next exercise is going to add a full body coordination element that engages your core in a completely different way. The third exercise is high knee twists. This one elevates your heart rate significantly while also introducing a rotational challenge that brings in the full oblique system along with the deeper rotational muscles around your spine. Start marching in place. High knees, drive them up past hip height if possible. Now, as each knee comes up, bring the opposite elbow across to meet it. Right elbow to left knee. Left elbow to right knee. The twist should come from your torso, not just your arms swinging. Think about your belly button rotating toward the rising knee. Your core is the engine of this movement, not your arms. The pace on this one should be moderate to brisk, not so fast that you are just flailing, but not so slow that you lose the cardio benefit. This is the first exercise in the workout where you will really start to feel your heart rate climb, and that is intentional. We are building a thermal effect. Your body is warming up, your metabolism is rising, and the combination of rotation, elevation, and opposition is putting significant demand on your entire core system. Common mistake here. People let their upper body stay rigid and just swing their arms. Do not let that happen. Every rep should have a real, intentional rotation originating from the center of your body. Pull the elbow down and across, not just forward. Feel the rotation in your midsection. Exhale sharply on each twist to help your core fire. Do 45 seconds here, then take your 1-5 second rest. You are now 3 exercises in, about 5 minutes into the workout. And if you are doing this right, you should already be feeling your core working, your heart rate elevated, and a light sweat beginning. Good. That means the workout is doing exactly what it is supposed to. The fourth exercise is standing bicycle crunches. This is the standing version of one of the most effective floor exercises ever studied for abdominal activation. And the standing variation is arguably more functional because it requires balance and whole body coordination. Stand hip-width apart, core braced, hands behind your head lightly. Drive your right knee up and across your body toward your left elbow, while rotating your torso so your left elbow moves toward the right knee. You are aiming for them to meet or come close somewhere in the center of your body. Then lower and repeat on the other side, driving the left knee up and across toward the right elbow. The key to making this exercise as effective as possible is the rotation. You need your torso to actually turn, not just your elbow to poke forward. Think about your shoulder moving toward the opposite hip. That is the cue that creates real oblique and rectus abdominis engagement. At the top of each rep, pause for just a split second. Feel the crunch, feel the rotation, then lower with control. Most people rush through this movement and turn it into a march with arm swings. That version barely touches the abs. Slow it down by about 30% from whatever pace you were planning, and I promise you will feel every single rep in your midsection. Breathe out as the knee comes up, in as it lowers. Keep your standing foot firmly planted, your balance steady, your core switched on through every rep. But here is what most people do not realize about this exercise. The real work is happening in your transverse abdominis throughout the entire movement, not just at the moment of rotation. That deep corset muscle is bracing your spine every single second, stabilizing you against the shifting weight of your moving limbs. That is deep, functional core strength being built right now, and it is the kind of strength that protects your spine in everyday life. We are now about 7 minutes in, and I want to remind you, this workout is 30 minutes long. Every exercise you complete is building on the last. Your core is warming up, your stabilizers are activating, and your body is learning to engage your midsection as a unified system. The next movement is one that people consistently underestimate, but it targets an area most workouts completely miss. The fifth exercise is crossbody knee drives. This one is similar to the bicycle crunch, but done at a slightly faster pace and with more of a driving, explosive intent, like you are pressing your knee forward and across rather than lifting and meeting. Stand in a slight athletic position, soft knees, slight forward, lean from the hip, core engaged. Drive your right knee aggressively up and across toward your left shoulder. Not your left hip, your left shoulder. This diagonal drive activates the obliques and hip flexors simultaneously, while also engaging the lower abs with force. At the same time, your arms can drive back in opposition for momentum and balance, right arm driving back as the left knee drives forward, and vice versa. This one has a slightly more dynamic, athletic feel than the previous exercises. It should feel like you are powering through the movement rather than gently lifting. Think of it like a slow-motion sprint with added rotation. The power comes from the core. Every drive starts at your center and radiates outward. After 45 seconds, rest and get ready for the next exercise, because this is where we shift gears and focus specifically on the lateral core, an area that is responsible for posture, balance, and that trim, defined look through the sides of the waist. The sixth exercise is standing side bends, a deceptively simple movement that, when done correctly, delivers a deep, burning activation in the lateral obliques and the quadratus lumborum, the muscle on the side of your lower back that connects your hip to your spine. Training this muscle helps correct the common problem of one-sided tightness and improves overall posture significantly. Stand with feet hip-width apart, arms down at your sides. Hold a light weight in your right hand if you have one. A water bottle, a dumbbell, anything with a bit of resistance. If not, body weight only is completely effective. Now, keeping your body facing squarely forward, no twisting, slide your right hand down the outside of your right thigh, bending directly to the right. Your left side is stretching. Your right side is working. Go as far as you can while keeping your spine long and your hips stable. Then use your left oblique to pull yourself back up to the starting position. The mistake most people make here is rotating forward or backward as they bend, which turns it into a different exercise entirely and loses the lateral focus. Stay in one plane. Imagine you are between two walls of glass, one in front of you, one behind, and you cannot touch either one as you bend. That mental image keeps the movement pure and maximizes oblique activation. Switch sides after 22 seconds, or do all reps on one side first and then the other. Breathe out as you bend, in as you return. Feel that lateral pull along the side of your waist on each rep. Over time, this exercise shapes and tightens the sides of the midsection in a way that front-focused exercises simply cannot do. We are now approaching the halfway point of this workout, and your core should be working consistently. The next exercise introduces a reach component that adds a new dimension of challenge, and it is one that people find surprisingly effective, even though it looks simple. The seventh exercise is standing toe touches. And before you think this is too easy, stay with me, because there is a specific version of this movement that dramatically increases core activation compared to the way most people do it. Stand with feet slightly wider than hip width apart, arms extended up above you. This is your starting position. Now, keeping your legs as straight as possible, soft knee, acceptable, reach your right hand down toward your left foot, bringing your torso diagonally across your body. Your left arm drives back and up as a counterbalance, then come back up and repeat on the other side, left hand reaching toward right foot. The rotation and flexion combined in this movement target the full oblique system, as well as the lower abs and the muscles along the spine. The reach creates a lengthening through one side, while the other contracts to pull you through the movement. It is both a stretch and a strength exercise in one, which is why it feels so good and so challenging at the same time. Here is the adjustment that makes this exercise twice as effective. At the bottom of each reach, instead of just touching down, actively compress your rib cage toward your opposite hip. Think about your elbow trying to reach your opposite knee, even though it is going toward the foot. That extra crunch at the bottom doubles the oblique engagement. Most people just hinge and reach without that compression, and they are leaving most of the benefit on the table. Keep your core braced through the entire range of motion. Do not just flop forward and let gravity do the work, control the descent, and power the ascent. This keeps your muscles under tension throughout the full movement, rather than just at the endpoints. The eighth exercise is the wood chop motion, and this one is an absolute core powerhouse. The wood chop is a rotational movement that mimics the action of chopping wood, hence the name, and it trains your core in the transverse plane, which is the rotational plane that most traditional exercises completely ignore. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Clasp your hands together or hold a light weight. Start with your hands up and to your right at about shoulder height or slightly higher, arms extended. Now, in one smooth, controlled motion, swing your hands down and across your body toward your left hip. At the same time, allow your torso to rotate and your right heel to lift slightly as the rotation drives through. Then reverse the motion, returning back up to the start. The power on the way down and across comes from your obliques, your deep rotators, and your lower abs all firing together. This is a compound core movement, multiple muscles working simultaneously, and the calorie burn is noticeably higher than isolated exercises because of the full range of motion and muscle involvement. Do 22 seconds in one direction, then switch hands, start up and to the left, chop down toward the right hip. The mistake on this one is using your arms instead of your core to drive the movement. Imagine that your arms are just along for the ride, and your torso is actually what is creating the rotation. If you watch yourself in a mirror, your shoulders, chest, and hips should all be rotating together as a unit, with your core as the engine. Keep the movement smooth, not jerky. No flailing. No rushing. Controlled power is what we are after, not speed for its own sake. Feel the muscles working. That is the signal that the exercise is doing its job. Now stay with me because we are entering the final third of this workout, and this is where things really heat up. The exercises in this section are going to combine everything your core has been building up to, and the fatigue accumulation from the earlier movements is going to make these last exercises feel even more challenging. That is exactly what we want. That challenge is what drives adaptation. That is what creates change. Not. The ninth exercise is the standing march with core engagement, and I want you to treat this one with the respect it deserves, because what looks like a simple march is actually a full core activation drill when done with the right intent. Stand tall, spine long, shoulders back and down. Begin marching in place at a deliberate pace, slow enough that each knee raise is fully controlled, high enough that the knee reaches hip height or above. As each knee comes up, actively press your lower back toward a neutral position by drawing your pelvis into a slight posterior tilt. This ensures your transverse abdominis and lower abs are working to create the movement, not just your hip flexors. Every time your foot strikes the floor, land softly, mid-foot first, then heel, then roll forward. This landing technique recruits your glutes and hamstrings and keeps the movement safe on your joints while also maintaining the core challenge. Your arms should swing in opposition, left arm forward as the right knee rises, right arm forward as the left knee rises, mimicking natural walking mechanics but with full body intention. Here is where the core engagement becomes critical. As each knee rises, Think about your lower abs clenching for just a moment at the top of the movement. Not a hard jerk, a focused, intentional compression. Then release as the foot descends. Over the course of 45 seconds, you will have performed dozens of these mini core activations, and the cumulative effect is significant. This movement also serves as a brief active recovery compared to some of the higher intensity exercises, allowing your heart rate to remain elevated while giving your more fatigued muscles a moment to sustain their performance for what is coming next. And what is coming next is the exercise I mentioned at the very beginning of this workout, the one that consistently surprises people with how intensely they feel their entire core activate. This is the 10th exercise, the standing mountain climber variation, and it is going to take everything your core has learned and practiced in the last 25 minutes and challenge it all at once. Here is how it works. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, soft knees, core engaged. Reach both arms overhead, palms facing in. Now, as you drive your right knee up toward your chest as high and as fast as you can, simultaneously drive both arms down to your sides, like you are pulling two cables down from above your head. At the top of the knee drive, your arms are at hip level, your knee is at chest height, and your entire core front, sides, and deep stabilizers is compressed together. Then reach the arms back up and drive the left knee, alternate rapidly. This is the standing variation of the mountain climber, and it is devastating to the core in the best possible way. The overhead reach creates length and stretch throughout the abdominal wall, and then the simultaneous arm pull and knee drive creates a massive compression of every layer of the core at once. Your rectus abdominis, both sets of obliques, your transverse abdominis, and your hip flexors are all working simultaneously at maximum intensity. The pace should be brisk but controlled. You want power, not sloppiness. Drive hard, pull hard, compress hard. If you feel your whole midsection working in a way you have not felt in this workout yet, that is exactly right. This is the exercise that pulls everything together, and it is why we saved it for the end when your core is already warm, activated, and primed for maximum effort. Do 45 seconds of this. If you need to slow down, but do not stop. This is where the mental side of fitness matters as much as the physical. Your core can handle more than your mind thinks it can, and pushing through the last 15 seconds of this exercise is where real progress happens. After your rest, we have one final round to get through. We are going back through a shortened circuit of the most effective movements: standing oblique crunches, wood chops, and standing mountain climbers. And we are doing each one for 60 seconds with minimal rest. This is the finisher. This is where the last of your energy goes. And completing this finisher is what separates people who train from people who just exercise. Go back to your standing oblique crunches. Everything you know about this movement, the lateral crunch, the elbow to knee, the hips staying square, apply it all right now with maximum intent for 60 seconds. Switch sides at 30. Do not pace yourself. This is the end of the workout. Leave everything here. Rest 10 seconds. Into wood chops. 30 seconds chopping down to the left. 30 seconds chopping down to the right. Drive from the core. Rotate fully. Power the movement from your midsection, not your arms. Feel every rep. Rest 10 seconds. And then one final 60 seconds of standing mountain climbers. Everything you have got. Drive those knees. Pull those arms. Compress that core. This is your finish line, and you are going to cross it strong. Now let us take a moment to cool down with some standing stretches. Reach both arms overhead, interlace your fingers, and lean gently to the right. For 10 seconds, you will feel a deep stretch along the left side of your waist. Then lean to the left for 10 seconds. Come back to center, and then bend forward from the hips with soft knees, letting your arms hang down toward the floor. Hold for 10 seconds to release your lower back. Stand up slowly, roll your shoulders back, and take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let your core relax. Let your heart rate settle. You just completed a 30-minute standing abs workout, and I want you to understand exactly what you did. You trained your core from multiple angles: front, side, rotational, and deep stabilization. You challenged your balance, your coordination, and your proprioception. You elevated your heart rate and maintained it for an extended period, increasing your calorie expenditure and your cardiovascular conditioning. You trained your abs the way they are actually designed to work in conjunction with your full body, in an upright position, under the conditions they will face in real life. That is not just ab training, that is functional fitness. Now, here is how to make this workout work for you over time. For beginners, start by doing this routine 2 times per week with at least one rest day between sessions. Your core needs time to recover and rebuild after a training stimulus, just like any other muscle group. Do not train abs every single day. You will actually slow your progress by denying your muscles the recovery they need. 2 sessions per week for the first 3 to 4 weeks will build your base. After 4 weeks, you can increase to 3 sessions per week. 3-3-0 minute standing abs workouts per week, combined with a full body training program and moderate cardio, is a very effective framework for developing visible, strong abs over the course of 3 to 6 months. Not 3 to 6 weeks, 3 to 6 months. Anyone promising you visible abs in 2 weeks is not being honest with you, and I respect you too much to do that. Here is the truth about visible abs that most fitness content does not say clearly enough. The muscles are built through training. The definition, the visibility of those muscles comes from reducing the layer of body fat that sits on top of them. And body fat reduction happens primarily through a consistent caloric deficit over time, meaning you eat slightly fewer calories than your body uses on a daily basis. Not a crash diet, not extreme restriction. A moderate, sustainable deficit combined with high protein intake to preserve muscle tissue. That process takes time, months, not weeks. But if you commit to both the training and the nutrition consistently, the results will come and they will stay. The people who develop strong, visible abs are not people with magical genetics or secret exercises. They are people who trained consistently over a long period of time, who ate well most of the time, who prioritized sleep and recovery, and who did not quit when progress felt slow. That is the entire formula. There is no mystery. There is only consistency. Add this workout to your weekly schedule right now. Not tomorrow, not Monday, now. Open your calendar. Block out 3-3-0 minute windows this week, and commit to showing up for yourself. The first few sessions might feel hard. Your core might be sore in ways you have never felt before, particularly through the sides of your waist and deep in your lower abs, and that soreness is a signal that you are building something real. It will fade as your body adapts, and over weeks and months, what was once difficult will become your new baseline. Then you increase the challenge, and the process continues. Every time you finish this workout, you have done something that most people will not do today. You have invested in your body, in your health, in your long-term quality of life. That deserves recognition, not complacency recognition. Acknowledge the effort, and then show up and do it again. If this workout challenged you, share it with someone who needs it. Leave a comment below telling me which exercise you felt the most in your abs. I genuinely want to know. Subscribe if you want more workouts like this, because this is just one piece of a much larger training system I am building for you here. And if you want to turn this into a weekly habit, come back to this exact video 3 times this week. Just this one. Build the habit before you add complexity. Show up, do the work, and trust the process. Your abs are already there. The training you just did is uncovering them. Keep going.